alaikum. I am Ikra Hamid and I am going to teach you fractions. What this fraction is? It is simply a part. Simply a part or a portion of a thing. But that thing is considered as whole thing. Whole thing. That means we can write a fraction shows a part of a whole. Shows a part of a whole. Suppose I have an apple and I have to cut that apple into 4 pieces. And I have to distribute that apple into 2 students. How can I distribute that apple to these 2 students? Either I can give 1 part, but out of these whole 4 parts to 1 student and rest 3 parts to another one. That means 1 part of this whole apple, that means which has been divided into 4 parts, I have to distribute it to first one, and second will be what remains here, 3 parts, and I will give it to another one. And this one is simply a number, and this 4 is also a number. Okay, second probability is that I can give them equal parts. That means I can give 2 parts to first one and rest 2 parts to another one. But I have to take them from this whole apple that I have divided into 4 parts. Third probability is I can give 3/4 one to first one and 1/4 to second one. That means I can give 3 parts to first one, but from 4 whole apple, and next 1 part to another one. But that means this is 3 is a part of this 4, or we can say this 1 is a part of this 4. I have taken a part from this whole thing. This is simply a fraction. And now representation of a fraction. Representation of a fraction. How can we represent a fraction? A fraction can be represented by having it can be represented by having its numerator value. That means here it is numerator and denominator value. But those two, numerator and denominators, are separated by a horizontal bar, this one, which can be called as vinculum. This bar is called upper N is for numerator. This bar is called vinculum. It simply separates the numerator and denominator of the fraction. This D is simply denominator of fraction. Or we can say simply a fraction can be generally represented as A by B. That means A is the numerator and B is the denominator. But these A and B are having whole numbers. This A and B are whole numbers. That is, they are having their values, executing values like 1/2. 1 is also a whole number, 2 is also a whole number, 3/4, etc. Now we will move on types of fractions. Types of fractions. First, like fractions. Like fractions are those fractions having numerator and denominator values, but having denominator values same. Like fractions are those fractions which are having same denominator values. For example, 1 by 3, 5 by 3, 10 by 3. This is having the numerator value 1, this fraction 5, and this fraction is 10, having its numerator value 10. Rest, their denominators are same. They are having their denominator value 3. They can be called as like fractions. Second one is unlike fractions. Unlike fractions are those fractions which are having different numerator and denominator values. Like 3 by 4, 5 by 6, 7 by 8. That means neither they have numerators same nor they have same denominators. These are said to be unlike fractions. They are totally different from each other. Third one is proper fraction. Proper fraction. This is that type of fraction which is having its numerator value lesser than that of denominator value. That means its numerator is simply less than its denominator. Like 2 by 5. This 2 is smaller than this 5. We can say this is the type of proper fraction. 5 by 6, 7 by 8. These fractions are simply proper fractions because they are having their numerator values lesser than that of denominators. Fourth one is improper fraction. Improper fraction is that type of fraction which is having its numerator value greater than its denominator value. Like 8 by 6. 8 is greater than this 6. That means its numerator is greater than its denominator. We can say this type of fraction is improper fraction. 10 by 9. 11 by 9. Fifth one is mixed fraction. As from its name, it is simply mixing of something. That means it is simply a combination of a whole number and its fraction. But that be particular type of called proper fraction. That fraction be proper fraction. That means it can be generally represented as A, B by C. Where this B is smaller than C, because how we represent, suppose 5, 2 by 3. This 5 is whole number. It is simply whole number, combination of this whole number plus and proper fraction. And a fraction, this 2 by 3 is fraction, this 5 is whole number, this 2 by 3 is fraction. But there be a special type of fraction that is simply proper fraction. This is 2 is smaller than that of this 3. That means its numerator is less than that of its denominator. We can say that it is a combination of whole number and proper fraction. Like I have 4 balls here. And I take these 3 wholly. This will give me the whole number. And I take the half portion from this one. That may be this one is divided into 2. This 1 by 2 is simply now a proper fraction because its numerator value is quite less than its denominator value. And this 3 is a whole number. So we can write this 3 1 by 2. We can say this 3 and 1 by 2 is a mixed fraction. This mixed fraction can be also simplified in its lowest form. How? By using the method Generally, it can be represented as AB by C, where B by C is a proper fraction, and we are going to simplify it, reduce it into some other form of fraction. How can we reduce it into another form of fraction? Simply, I have to multiply this C with this whole number CAC and plus तो सीधे ही लिखना है, and this B remain same. First cross multiply C with A, that will give me AC, plus तो सीधे ही खुद ही लिखना है, then B, and divided it is denominator C. That suppose I have taken the above example 3 1 by 2. How can we reduce this fraction into another form? Like 2 3s are, multiply 2 with 3, 2 3s are 6, plus 1 will come same here, and denominator will also be same. 6 plus 1 is 7, divided by 2. That means a mixed form, when it is reduced into another form of fraction, it gives me a improper fraction, because here 7 is quite greater than this 2. The fraction having numerator value greater than its denominator value can be called as an improper fraction. So, on reducing the mixed fraction into its reduced form gives me a improper fraction. Note point. A fraction having 1, the fractions which are having numerator values 1 are said to be unit fractions, like 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 5. They are having the same numerator values, that be 1, only 1. 1 is called as unit, and this fraction is called as unit fraction. Unit fraction. Now, I will tell you some properties of these fractions. There are two properties which are very important for you. So, first, properties of fractions. First, if a fraction is multiplied by a number, we have to multiply its numerator and denominator by the same number. This is a property of a fraction. If we have to multiply a fraction, we have to multiply its denominator as well as its numerator with the same number. Like, if I am having a fraction 2 by 5, that is simply proper fraction. I have to multiply it with a number. Suppose my number is 2. I have to multiply it by 2. I can't multiply this numerator separately, 2 to the 4 by 5, or this denominator separately. This will give me 2, 5 to the 10. This is very wrong. I have to multiply both numerator and denominator by the same number. This 2. 2 to the 4, 2 5 the 10. That means a fraction can't be multiplied by a number. It can be multiplied by, we can multiply its numerator and denominator by the same number, just like I have show you. Second property. A fraction can be divided by a same number. The numerator and denominator of a fraction can be divided by a same number. We can't divide it by different numbers. I have to divide a fraction by the same number. That means it is denominator and numerator and denominator can be divided by a same number. Like, I will divide this fraction by 2. I have to divide its numerator as well as its denominator by this 2. Got it? That means we can't multiply the fractions by a number separately. We have to we have to multiply their numerators as well as their denominators by the same number, not different numbers. Here it is 2. I have to multiply this numerator as well as it is denominator by this 2 only. Here it is 2. I have to divide this numerator as well as it is denominator by this 2 only. I can't go for this like 2 divided by 2 numerator and for denominator divided by 3. This is totally wrong. I have to divide the fraction by a same number. Its numerator and denominator must be divided by a same number. Its numerator and denominator must be multiplied by a same number. Thank you. Bye.